Act 5, Scene 4. Let's do the setting, please. Let's draw an arrow. We are in Burnham Wood. Okay, now Burnham Wood is outside the castle. Okay, so we don't know how far away it is, but it's probably reasonably close because they're going to carry like boughs there. So it's like Dunsinane to Burnham Wood. Dunsinane is the castle where Macbeth is, and Burnham Wood is outside the castle. Malcolm. Yes. Now this is a reference to his father, right? Now a chamber is a bedroom. Okay, and of course that's where you sleep. So he says the days are coming soon where you'll be able to sleep in your bedrooms and not fear being murdered by Macbeth. Okay, can make sure you have that, please. So it's a reference to his dad. Okay, Menteith. Good. Now remember, you're an Englishman, right? So you don't know. Now, Seaward, let's just circle him. So he is the Earl of Northumberland, right? Northumberland is a county right at the top of the country, okay? And he, of course, is English. So he comes in, he's like, what woods are these? And they're like, they're the wood of Burnham, laddie. What wood stands before us? The wood of Burnham, right? Now again, when we hear that, we're supposed to go, exclamation mark, prophecy, right? Malcolm. Yeah, good. So an is an error, like error. So we're going to cut down all the branches, and so that way we can disguise the numbers. Okay, disguise the numbers. But of course, this is the moving. Now I'm going to put this like this, right? The moving forest, because the witches do the classic thing, which is they tell the truth, but in a way that tricks Macbeth to think it's impossible. So this is the forest moving. They are moving the boughs. It looks like a moving forest. So 10,000 men, each of them carrying a branch. So try and visualize what that looks like if you're looking down upon it. You can't see any men. All you can see is leaves and branches. They must look really crazy, right? Soldiers, everyone together. 3, 2, 1.
It shall be done.
But now, like you're ready for war. 3, 2, 1.
It shall be done.
No, exactly the same. Like you're ready for war. Like you're like, let's go, let's do this. 3, 2, 1.
It shall be done.
Let's say it even louder, like you're really, really, really passionate about it. 3, 2, 1.
It shall be done.
Better, right? It shall be done. Right? Here we go. Seaward.
We learn no other, but the confident tyrant keeps still in dancing, and we endure our setting down the floor.
Good, right. The tyrant is Macbeth, right? They use this T word a lot, right? Somebody who uses their power for personal gain. The confident tyrant keeps in Dunsinane. So he is almost like he's almost on lockdown, right? He's pulled at the drawbridge. He's closed it all off. He's like, he's not going to come out of that castle. How are we going to get him out? Malcolm. Yeah, good. So look at this. None serve him. So none serve with him, but constrained things whose hearts are absent too. So he has essentially got no followers, right? The ones who actually do follow him don't really want to. They're just scared of him, right? More and less. So the higher status people, like the Thanes, have left him. The lower status people have left him. Okay, he has been what's this? All have left. Okay, so there's nobody there anymore. Everybody's left, right? Macduff.
Let our just senses attend the true event, and we put on industrious soldiership.
Good. So Macduff is classically right here. He's like, even though we have the massive advantage, we still must be honourable. We must fight as men, right? So he doesn't underplay the difficulty of this. Seaward.
The time approaches that will with due decision make us know, but we shall say we have and what we owe. Thoughts, speculations give unsure hope we make, but certain issue strays must the road. Arbitrary. word with the text.
Yeah, good. So C basically says, look, the time is coming, so the time approaches of war, and he says, when at war, we will either win or we will lose. He says the time is coming for action. Okay, so the war is coming. We then cut back to Act 5, Scene 5. So this is the throne room in Dunsinane. Okay, the Dunsinane throne room. You ready for this? Hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still they come. Our castle's strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Right? So get ready for war. So in a way he's being a bit duplicitous here, right? So hang out our banners on the outward walls. So when you do that, that is a declaration of war, right? But then he says, our castle's strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Now the siege is where you essentially you surround. If you want to do a siege, you surround the castle and you just wait. You just do nothing. And what you hope is that as they run out of food and water, that eventually they'll give up and come out and surrender. That's what a siege is, right? It's waiting. So he says we'll outwait them, right? So he says the irony is, because I have no men here, I have all the food, right? I've got the food for everybody because nobody's with me anymore. I can wait. He says they've got 10,000 men. Do they have food for those men? What happens when they run out of food? So his strategy is to wait, right? That is his strategy. Now, we would say that's reasonably dishonourable, right? He's not fighting face to face. Let them here lie. Look at this. Let them here lie till famine and the ague eat them up. Now, ague is disease. This word's a lot in Shakespeare. Don't use it anymore. So we'll wait until famine is starvation. Ague is disease. We'll just wait until they die. Here's his excuse, right? Were they not forced with those that should be ours? Now, forced here, what he means by this is he means reinforced. So were they not forced with those that should be ours, the traitors, we might have met them, dareful, beard to beard, and beat them back home. So he says essentially that he would have fought, but can't. You see what I mean by that? Yeah? So he was like, look, if it wasn't for the fact that all those traitors had joined their side, we would have battled them beard to beard, right, face to face, and we would have beat them, right? So he backs himself. He says, but they've got all my players, they've got all the best players, and I've got just me, right? So I can't win. It's not a fair fight, I won't fight. Ah! Ah! What is that noise? Yes? I don't know. He's in Ireland, so he might just be having a good time. Been to Ireland before? It's really nice, right? Guinness, oysters, music. I don't know is the answer. I imagine that probably he just doesn't know what's going on, or potentially Malcolm doesn't want to involve him because he might be a challenge to the throne. I don't know. Yes.
Isn't Donald Bain really young?
Donald Bain is younger than Malcolm. Yes.
So he's probably like next match.
Probably not. Although there's a lot of kids fighting, which we'll see in a minute. Right. Right. A cry of a woman within. Any guesses who that might be? Ah! Ah! Well, it's about Lady Macbeth. Now, it's either, we'll add this down, it's either, well, look, it's women, first of all. So the idea is that it is the discovery of Lady Macbeth's body. So there's a scream. What was that noise?
It is the cry of women.
I know it's the cry of women. Satan. Satan goes out, right? It is the cry of women, my good lord. I like Satan because he's very he sort of says really terrible things really calmly. Oh, it's just women crying, my good lord. Oh, I like this line here. I've almost forgot the taste of fears. I've almost forgot the taste of fears. Taste of fears. That's weird, isn't it? Do you know what that technique is? You've heard that before. The taste of fears. The taste of... Now, you can't taste the beer, can you? Yeah.
Is it sort of like personification?
It's a technical term. I'll write it down for you. So we call this, you'll like this, right? It's called synesthesia. Synesthesia. Now, synesthesia is when you describe one sense with another sense, right? To taste music. To taste fear, right? It's a jarring phrase. So you use one sense to describe something that doesn't usually work, right? And often it works with taste. Says, I've almost forgot what fear tasted like. So what's interesting here is that he's admitting that he's scared. He said, whoa, that noise scared me. And I forgot what it's like to be scared. I've not been scared in ages. But he's starting to feel the fear again. The time had been, my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek. And my fell of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir. Now that there is a reference to 1.3. When he first hears the witch's prophecy, he says, why does it unfix my hair? Right? So he said there was a time in the past. Now time comes up all the time here, right? Time. There was a time where stuff scared me, right? If I heard a noise, my senses would cool. I get like a shiver. Right? To cool is to shiver. And my hair would go on end. As life were in it. Good line here, right? I have supped full with horrors. Now to sup means to dine. Like supper, to eat. He says, I have sat at the table. Right? So he says, I have sat at the table and eaten with horror. Now that is both a metaphor, but also it's true, isn't it? It's true, because in Act 3, Scene 4, he has Banquo's ghost. So he has actually sat at the table with horror. I have known bad things, right? I have done horrible, horrible things. Direness, familiar to my slaughterous thoughts, cannot once start me. So direness is like horror. So at this point here, he's saying, wow, that's crazy, right? Once upon a time, I used to be scared of stuff. And now I've experienced so much terror, so much horror. I'll add this here. So he's experienced so much. Now remember, there's things that we haven't seen, right? All we know about is the early stuff. Like, we don't know what else he's done since he's been king. But it's enough bad stuff that people call him a tyrant and hate him. So he's done terrible things. And he says, it used to be that I used to be scared of stuff, but I've done so many bad things, I have supped with horror, that I no longer feel it. Right? What's the word we could use for this? We could say that he is desensitized. He's desensitized, right? Desensitized. So he's lost any kind of feeling at this point. We happy with this? Satan. Wherefore was that cry? Now, wherefore means, in Shakespeare, right? It doesn't mean where was that cry. It means why. Always why. So he says, why was that? What was it? What was it?
The Queen, my lord, is dead.
The Queen, my lord, is dead. Right? Really famous line. So Satan just says the Queen is dead. Right? Now, Levi, what do we not know here? Sorry? We know she's dead, but we don't know... Yes, sir. Yeah, we don't know how, we don't know what happened, so there is no detail. Now this next bit is really important, okay? So if you've been a little bit dozy, come back to me for this, right? So he's just found out that his wife, the love of his life, his partner of greatness, is dead. This is his reaction to it, which is very strange, to say the least, okay? Now I'm going to do this reasonably fast and we'll come back to it and discuss it in more detail. This is what he says. He says, she should have died hereafter. Now, there's at least, I would say, at least 4 or 5 different ways you could read this. She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Okay? So, what I'd like to do is this. I'll give you a few minutes. What could this mean? She should have died hereafter. Now, hereafter just means sometime later. There would have been time for such a word. Okay? What do you think he means by that? What does that mean?
She should have died like right now.
She should have died like after them so they could like smoke it. Because I didn't have time for that word.
I literally
Right, let's get some ideas. Now, again, for centuries people have debated this. What could he mean by this? She should have died hereafter. There would have been time for such a word. What do you think? I've heard a lot of good things. So you be confident with this. What do you think he means by this? Yes, Sophie, thank you. Why? Yeah, the first reading is that it's inconvenient, right? I'm preparing for a war, and she has inconvenienced me by dying now, right? I don't have time for this because I'm busy. She should have died hereafter. But it doesn't just mean that, does it? What else could it mean? What else could it mean? Yep.
She should have died with that word.
Not necessarily she wouldn't fight the war. So not necessarily that she should have died at war, but that she was too young to die. Right? So hereafter means she should have died hereafter. Right? Not now. So its second one is that she was too young to die. Right? That it's a waste at this point. What else? Yep. Good. Yeah, good. So you could say there's unfinished business between them. That's very good, right? So maybe there's unfinished kind of a relationship. The last one is a little bit of a knowledge test. Who is the only other person in the play that says the word hereafter? Who is it? Remember this? The witches. What do they say? Hereafter. Right. Good. So there's a sense here about witches that she essentially is a victim of witches' prophecy. Because the witches say, well, you shall be king hereafter, so at some point in the future, and she should have died hereafter at some point in the future. So the basic premise is this. This is, like, it shouldn't have happened, right? It shouldn't have happened. It wasn't part of the plan, wasn't part of the fate. But in a way, she has been brought down as well by this. But also, he doesn't have time for this right now. Okay? There would have been time for such a word. Now, the word, of course, he means a message. Right? Then he says this. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Hello? You alright? Oh yeah. I'm coming. I'll see you after Sunday.
Will you be there?
Yeah. Alright. Right. Tomorrow, underline please. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. Okay, now I have to break this down a little bit. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Right, so he talks a lot about time, and we're going to circle any words about time, right? So we've got tomorrow, we've got pace, we've got day, we've got recorded time, we've got yesterday, Okay, and we've got death. So he gives this weird speech where he says, every single one of the things that we've done, all of our yesterdays, all of our days that come before us, the only value they have is they are leading us slowly to death. And he says that every single day is just another painful, slow movement towards death. Right? Mega bleak. Right? Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Now, one of the things that makes this quite interesting is that when he says tomorrow, now normally the stress comes on the key words. Well, you mark this out, right? Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. The words which are stressed when you read it are and, right? So when you read this, you go tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Like life is just this long series of pointless days, right? Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. All our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. So the candle here is something that's very fragile. So the candle can blow out very easily. So life is fragile. It can go like that. Right, this is the harder bit, believe it or not. Life is but a walking shadow. A poor player. Now a player, circle please, is an actor. A poor player who struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Okay. So the speech is very simple, but this is his reflection on life. So he finds out that his wife is dead, and he goes, that wasn't supposed to happen. What a waste, right? Then he goes, what is life? He goes, life is just bad. Life is just a very slow, monotonous, day by day by day, always the same, nothing ever changes. He says, we are all like actors. We are like actors who have 1 hour on a stage, and we come out and we shout and we yell and we strut, right? We strut and we fret, so we worry and we shout and we make big noises, and then we die and we're gone. We're never heard of again, right? Life is meaningless, life is fake, it doesn't matter, right? It is a tale told by an idiot. So it is stupid, it is full of sound and fury, but ultimately it's meaningless. This is his mindset, right? Now the speech is a little complicated. This is his mindset, and his mindset is simply this: that he has lost hope, that he is nihilistic, which is a fancy way of saying that he doesn't care about anything at all, right? And he thinks that it's all pointless. But also, here's the crazy thing, right? This makes him very, very dangerous, right? Always be scared of the person who has nothing to lose, right? The person has nothing to lose. So he comes out and he says this, all of this, right? So life is just this meaningless repetition of days, and eventually we die. It's so easily blown out like a candle, and it's all fake, right? We're just actors on stage, and once we're done, right? Nothing has any meaning. Okay? Good, we'll come back to it. Messenger, thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
Gracious my lord, I should report that with my name half.
Yeah. Well, say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham and Anna, and I thought the wood began to move.
Good, right. I looked towards Burnham, and the wood began to move. Now, of course, we know this is the soldiers with the branches, right? But for Macbeth, this is a big, like, Alarm moment. Liar and slave. Look at his reaction, right? So it's just anger, because of course it's what he's scared of, right? He's now scared because the prophecies are coming true. Liar and slave.
Let me enjoy your wrath. If it be not so, within the 3 mile may you see it coming, I say, a moving grove.
Yeah, so a moving grove. A grove is a forest. So he says if I'm wrong, then I'll endure your wrath. So he says it's the truth, right? And you can see it for yourself. Notice it is in 3 miles, so it is near. Okay. So if this was the cast of Dunsinane, it would be kind of around about Brockwell Park right now, right? So Brockwell Park started to move towards North Dulwich. That's the similar kind of thing, right? So this is a big moment for him, right? Because this is the moment where his beliefs get really, really challenged. Yeah. If thou speaks false, meaning if thou lies, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive, till famine cling thee. So if you're lying to me, I will hang you from a tree until you die of starvation. Right? So I'll give you what I describe as an extreme punishment. An extreme punishment. Okay? I will hang you from the tree until you are dead. If thy speech be sooth, if thy speech be true, I care not if thou dost as much for me. So if you're telling the truth, you might as well hang me. Right? I care not if thou dost as much me. So hang me. So if you're lying, I'll hang you from a tree till you're dead. If you're telling the truth, you might as well hang me, because I'm screwed. Right? I'm done. I pull in resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Who is the fiend? The witch. I'm starting to doubt the witches who lie to me like they're telling the truth. Fear not till Burnham Wood do come to Dunsinane, and now a wood comes to Dunsinane. Arm and out. Now that, of course, is a change in policy, isn't it? What's the original policy? What's the original strategy for the battle? Just to wait, yeah. But now he's like, right, let's go. Right, get your stuff on, let's go. If this which he avouches does appear, there is no flying hence nor tarrying here. So he says you can't escape. If what this man says is true, you can't run away, and you can't stay here. I begin to weary of the sun. Begin is begin. I begin to be aweary of the sun, and wish the estate of the world were now undone. Ring the alarum bell. Blow winds. Come rack. At least we'll die with harness on our back. Okay. So this bit here is that he's basically just fed up, right? I begin to become weary of the sun, right? Now, of course, the sun represents the day, or the days. So I'm beginning to get weary of the cycle, and wish the estate of the world were undone. So the estate of the world, of course, is his power, focus, right? His power. I'm bored of this, right? I'm bored. I don't want to be king anymore. Right? I'm getting bored of it. I'm bored of all these days. I want to end this situation, the estate of the world, right? So my power of the world. And then he says this, which I like. He says, ring the bell, right? Come rack, which means like destruction. At least we'll die of harness on our back. So he says, if I'm going to go out, I want to go out fighting. Right? I want to go out scrapping. Right? I want to take down as many people as I can. Right? Now, question for you, right? Is that honourable or dishonourable? He says, I don't want to go down like a coward in my castle. I want to go out there with a sword, in my armour, against 10,000 men. I'm just going to batter as many as I can. But I'm going to take as many down as I can until I am dead. What do you think? Why don't you discuss this? Do you think, is that honourable or dishonourable, do you think? Which is it of the two? Right. Hands up for honour. Honourable. Okay, hands up for dishonourable. Okay, interesting. So in many ways at the time it's been more honourable, right? There's a sense that he's going to go. But notice, in that one scene, he changes his entire perspective. At the start of the scene he's like, I'm going to wait until they're killed by famine. The minute that the prophecy is disproved, he goes, and his complete flip of mind. He goes, well, what's the point, right? He says, I don't even like being king anyway, right? My wife's dead, life's pointless, it's just this pointless repetitive cycle of nothingness, so I might as well go out, right? So he has this kind of like crazed decision to run out of his castle into 10,000 men who are all carrying branches, and it's like, I'm going to literally go down. It's not far away from suicide, is it? It's almost like, I want to die, but I want to die this way. So I think you could definitely, final thing, note for this, right? You could definitely ask the question, is this suicide? Does he want to die? Is this the best way he can think of dying? But the key thing with this scene is we see quite a lot, right? We see, first of all, his kind of sense of fear. Then we see the complete detachment, disillusionment with life. Then at the end we see him completely change and become sort of this radical soldier again.